Welcome into the Empower America show. Michael, Keith, Kevin, dialing in, talking about something. Guys, I got to be honest with you. I would think this is common sense.
Yeah.
But you know what the old saying is? There's nothing more uncommon than common sense. And so we are struggling for some common sense in our country. We're talking today. Now listen in, tune in, dial in, go like this. Spend money on things that grow.
Yeah.
That's like what a concept.
Yeah, I've always been a person when I'm spending money. I always buy off brands, whether it's aspirin or whether it's a TV. Like we was looking for some TVs in Best Buy, and Morris, look at this Sony. I said, ooh, look at that price tag.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go with the same TV, but it's Heinz cents. Save me about $400.
Not hindsight. Heinz cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Heinz cents lasted how long?
Right. Oh, I still got it.
See?
It lasts forever.
Heinz cents.
4K?
Ultra 4K.
Yeah.
I remember there was a story. You guys know I love Zig. And he shares this story of one time years ago. His son walked into, he was in his bathroom. And he buys this shampoo and the big kind of bottles where you can refill the other small bottle. You know what I'm saying? You buy the big in bulk.
Yeah.
So he buys this big bottle. And he was refilling the small bottle, and when he was doing it, he dropped some, and it was on the ground. So he goes and he swipes off this stuff on the ground, and he puts it on his hair because he's brushing his teeth. He's ready to take a shower, right?
Yeah.
So his son walks by, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, whatever. See you later." And he goes, "Dad, what's on your hair?" He's like, "Oh, that's shampoo." He's like, "You're silly, Dad." He's like, "You don't waste anything." He's like, "Son." He's like, "You know that neat little car you got out there in the driveway?
Yeah.
That's because we're careful when it comes to things like this."
Yeah. Right.
And I think what happens, what you're talking about is people are in a place when they buy things, they don't think about what they should buy to get by.
Right.
They think about what they buy because that's what they want.
Yeah. It's nothing wrong with buying something nice, but it's got to be in proportion. Like most of my money is in stocks. I got a couple homes.
Yeah.
When I'm spending money on appliances, I always go with the off-brand or I try to save more. I'm looking for a deal. I'm trying to be as frugal as possible.
Yeah, and it doesn't...
Because I know it's going to depreciate.
That doesn't mean... Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. It doesn't mean that sometimes you don't spend a lot of money on something you want. We're not saying that. The point is take inventory of your life, right? And be thinking about like, okay, do I really need to buy this? I mean, like you said about just like ibuprofen at the store or wherever it is, buy an off-brand. I know like when we go to buy ice cream, I like to buy ice cream. I like to eat ice cream.
Right.
And, I love what Jim Gaffigan said. He's like, when I open up the tub of the ice cream, I start to eat it, I throw the top away because I'm not a quitter. I'm going to finish the whole thing.
He's an inspiration.
he's like, you know what color I look the worst in? Skin color. So, I mean, but I get the generic ice cream because it tastes just the same to me.
Yeah.
And, I'm saving money. But, it's so important because I think we can live life sometimes and we find ourselves spending money on things that we think we need.
Yeah.
Sometimes we want to buy quality, but sometimes it doesn't matter. You can buy the generic brand and it's okay. That way you can save more of your money to invest in things that actually grow.
Right.
Like a lot of people don't think about it. When you think about a car is a depreciating asset.
Right.
So if you own a business as an example, one great benefit of owning a business, right? So you say what happens is you can either buy a car or an SUV, really, if it falls under a certain weight class, then from the tax rules, and they change all the time, but from the tax rules, at least current, you can write a lot of that off. You can deduct it from your taxes, the value of the car, or the value of the SUV or truck. But if you buy a car, there's something that's under a certain weight, you can't deduct that value.
Right.
So you have to depreciate it over 5 years. Well, a smart way to say, okay, if I have to buy a vehicle for my business, maybe I'll lease it, because now when you lease it, you can write the entire price off, plus insurance and all that kind of stuff. So it's just being mindful of what you're buying. Maybe it comes to buy watches.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead of just going and buying a Timex, maybe I like Rolex, or I like Breitling, or I like whatever it is. But those can be assets that can actually grow in value.
Yeah, and some people have deductions. They don't even have knowledge that, hey, I can write this off. They don't know.
Yeah. That's exactly right. I got a good friend, Eric Wind. He's got a company that specializes in vintage watches. And it's crazy when you take a look at some of these watches. I mean, what people are spending for some of these watches, you know, the rarity and the things that they cost.
Right.
So I think it's about balance and thinking about like, where are you spending your money?
Right. I remember I was working for a law firm. And I forget the gift. How much can you gift someone a year?
It changes every year, but it's around 14,000, 15,000.
And I was a new accountant. I just graduated from university.
Yeah.
Right. So I got my degree. I'm doing accounting. And
Don't know nothing.
Yeah, by the way,
don't know nothing.
Let me rephrase that. You can gift to me as much as you want.
But it was interesting how your perspective on things. Like she was giving these $100 pens to people.
Yeah.
Some of them $500-$600.
Yeah.
Right. I said, what is this? I write this off as a gift? He said, no, that's an advertising expense.
Yeah, marketing.
Yeah, because it's got my brand on it. It's got my phone number. I said, oh, this is a great way to look at things. A lot of people don't. You have deductions. You're not aware of them.
You got to empower yourself.
You got to, and that's the other thing too. When you buy things, so like if you're a business owner, you want to buy things that. Maybe like the pens as an example that are expensive. You remember some of those old school, like those cross pens?
Yeah.
Like they're not cheap.
Right.
They're expensive, but they themselves may not grow in value. No, they may if they're rare,
right.
But they themselves may not grow in value. But what you spent on it is a tool that you're going to use to potentially help you get more business. So there's intent behind it. It's all about the intent behind it.
Yeah, and can save you money on your taxes.
That's exactly right. So be thinking about what you're doing. I mean, that's one of the reasons, you know, people see me when I'm wearing my other hats with my other companies, Private Wealth shirts and other things. I'm walking around with those shirts all. That's a great way to write your clothes off.
Right.
It's marketing, it's advertising, and, you know, it's something I do. My kids are like, Dad, you wear those shirts all the time. You're like, exactly right.
It's free advertising.
Because I like to save money in taxes.
Right.
And wear clothes at the same time.
Right.
You know, but nowadays, when you try to save money on taxes, that's like looked down upon. That means you're not patriotic.
Yeah, you're not. Well, I mean, let me ask you this.
Coming from a Democrat perspective.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, people are in a place where they don't think about it. I think sometimes where they're like, they work, they get paid.
Right.
And they don't see the taxes that go to the government.
Yeah.
And now sometimes they do because they actually look at the check stub and they're like, well, wait a minute. You mean the government's taking that? I'll never forget. I had a conversation with a guy. I won't mention his name, but he was a younger kid. And he was like, I think not only should the government pay for your, this is a couple years ago. He's like, I think not only should the government pay for your college, but I also think they should buy you a car when you graduate to get you started in life. Right. He's like, practically, that makes sense to me.
Right.
Now, here's what was interesting. When he went and got his first job, he's like, why are they taking so much money from my paycheck? I'm like, wait a minute. And that's... Right now, they don't pay for college and they don't buy you a car. You imagine if they paid for college and bought you a car?
Right, yeah.
I mean, how many of you would love to just, by the way, if you want to pay more money in taxes, you know, Warren Buffett talked about that before.
Right.
The rich should pay more money in taxes. Well, I got news for you, Warren. There is a line item on your return where you can kindly donate
Right.
to the federal government for the deficit and debt more if you want to. I bet if you send the IRS more money and say, please use this to pay down the debt, they'll take your money. So don't tell me that you're in a... It's like, what is it, Ben and Jerry's? The guy's like, oh, people got to give away.
Yeah.
And they're like, the people up there are like, well, why don't we start with your corporate headquarters?
Right.
Well, no, we were talking about something up. We were talking about something else.
These people are all hypocrites.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
So pay attention to your expenditures. That's a big word for what you buy.
Yeah.
Right. Expenditure.
Yes. Yeah.
Expenditures. Big word for what you buy. Pay attention to what you purchase. Because you're making other people rich.
Yeah.
Focus on what you're buying. Focus on what you're spending money on, and really try and say, what am I buying, and will this grow? And not everything grows, right?
Yeah.
But you will be. And now, if you eat a lot of ice cream, your stomach's going to grow.
It's going to definitely grow.
You're investing in something that will grow, but it's in the wrong place.
Yeah. Don't forget, you got to keep your wife happy too.
Yeah.
So you got to, everything you can do in proportion.
Yeah.
You just got to, like, we was at the beach the other day. I said, I bet you won't guess where I bought these shorts from.
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah. And I was like,
$14.99.
I literally did not guess.
It's nice.
I was wrong. I was like, they're pretty nice.
You can go to Walmart and come out looking fly.
Yeah. Hey, the Waltons have figured a few things out.
Yeah.
You know.
Waltons are some good people.
They're
What would the country be without the Waltons?
making clothes great again.
Get it from China. It's cheaper.
Exactly. So pay attention to what you're doing. Buy things that grow.
Yeah.
So important.
Appreciate.
Yeah. Hey,
There you go.
be empowered, boys and girls. Have fun. Peace out.
Yeah.